Everybody see me? Hello, everybody. So let's just wait another minute because there is a lot of people still coming in. Okay. Or maybe we should start now. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our business opportunity meeting. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Clifton and I'm the MC for today. Currently, I'm the Executive Brand Director of Nu Skin. I was born in Hong Kong and I grew up in Canada. In 2004, I moved back to Hong Kong and started my career in the makeup industry, and also my last job was as a radio host, and also I was working as an actor. The reason why I started my Nu Skin business 5 years ago was because I was actually looking for some new opportunities to brighten up my life and to get more income, because the market was very unstable at that moment. So about 5 years ago, I was introduced to the business through my friend from University in Vancouver. But today we have a very special guest with us. So let me tell you a little bit more about his background. He was a government scholar and also the ex-deputy director of trade and industry. And he was working directly with the previous Prime Minister of Singapore, Prime Minister Lee. He moved to London as an institutional broker after he left Singapore, and he started his Nu Skin business part-time in 2001. I'm not going to tell you too much about his background because I'll leave that to him. But to me, Junwan is a very determined and he's a man of vision. So later on, he will share a bit more about the business with you. And he also has a very special guest with him today later on, because they will be answering some questions from some of our business partners, and also maybe some questions that you have in mind. Dr. Lam Ying Kit, she was the managing director of Dental Group in Singapore, which she founded at the age of 26. And she's also an executive brand director at the moment. So let's, without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Junwan Tan. Hi, Junwan. Can you see us?
Hi there, can you see me? Hello. Clifton, can you see me? Okay, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And first I want to thank Frankie and Sharon for giving me this privilege and honor to share with all of you. Just one correction. PM Lee Hsien Loong is still our current PM. In Singapore, we don't change PMs as often as they do in Malaysia. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start my presentation. It won't take too long, and then I think the more interesting thing will be a Q&A with Dr. Lam. So, okay, hold on. Okay, so today's topic is on financial immunity in turbulent times, which is a very, I'm sure lots of you are curious about this topic, which is very relevant at this current moment. So why do I choose this? Because I think at this moment, with what's happening, we all think about health immunity. But actually what is more important is financial immunity. Let me give a number. What is the number of people who've been infected in Singapore? About 130 out of a population of 5 million. Actually, the chances of you being infected in Singapore is practically zero. Okay? But how many people have been affected by this virus in terms of their jobs, in terms of their pay, in terms of businesses being lost? I think a lot will happen. Is it 100 times? Is it 1,000 times? Is it 10,000 times? I think it's at least 10,000 times. So to me, financial immunity is far more important and crucial than just health immunity. It's important, but it's far more important. So firstly, I want to say I have been a very lucky man. I read somewhere that actually luck is more important than skill or hard work. Don't get me wrong, of course, skill and hard work is also very important. But to me, when you experience luck and you see for what it is, you must work very hard at it. Okay, so for me, I've had 3 pieces of very good luck. The first one was being given a scholarship by the Singapore government to study overseas. I'm eternally grateful because given my family background, there was no way I could have gone overseas. And of course, coming back to work for my first boss, the current Prime Minister of Singapore, I learned a lot. The second piece of luck was going straight on to, at the age of 28, to London, to work in the City of London as an institutional stockbroker. What I do there is I advise all the financial institutions there on investing in this part of the world. I had no experience then, but it was the start of a great golden period in stockbroking, a good 15 years, and I saw a lot during that period. But towards the end of the period, I was beginning to wonder about the viability of stockbroking, or finance was changing a lot. Fortunately, my third piece of luck appeared in a completely unfamiliar package, skincare, supplements, MLM. Okay, I'm sure many of you experienced that, and that's why perhaps you're curious, that's why you're tuning in. But my third piece of luck is the best piece. Why? Because I only have to succeed one time, and then my whole family is taken care of forever. Whereas in the other jobs, in the other businesses that we do, we have to be the champion every month, every quarter, every year. Is that possible? Of course not. So Nu Skin to me is my best piece of luck ever. Now, Nu Skin, I've always said, is a sure win business, and I will illustrate that later on. But first, I want to share with you the benefits of what Nu Skin has done for myself and my family in terms of our health and in terms of other aspects of our life besides money. Money is a guarantee. First, this is me. This is how I look in 2006, a good 14 years ago. And this body was achieved with lots of exercise. The amazing thing is, I didn't think I was fat then. Okay, I thought it was quite usual for someone in the 40s to have a bit more in the core area, But I was again very fortunate because just at that point in time, the product I needed the most was the weight management product, and Nu Skin came out with the best product ever called TR90. So this is me about 3 months later. You can see I lost 8 kilos, and I had to give up all my suits and whatnot from 20 years ago because I couldn't wear them. Now, with all weight management program, you want to know whether you can maintain. So this is me today. Okay, I only took 1 pack, 3 months, and my current weight is still 74. But the interesting thing between the 2 photos, the one in the middle and the one on the right, is 14 years later, I still maintain my weight, but more importantly, my muscle mass has gone up. This is my wife. She also went on the journey with me, and this is her today. And we are both going to be 61 years old this year. So that's the health part of it. Now with health, I also want youth. To me, one of the favorite things I loved to do when I was young was playing soccer. Now, I still play soccer twice a week. In fact, every Sunday I play, and then I play one of the weekdays as well. So to me, to be able to do at 60 what you're doing at 16, to me that is real youth. And what about time with the family? When I was in stockbroking, I made good money. I was able to take care of my family like every man likes to take care of their family. But you know what was lacking? Time. Crucial moments of their life, holidays cut short because I have to rush back. Sometimes during holiday, a lot of stress because the market has fallen and I'm in a different time zone. And as all parents will tell you, these moments when they are growing up are priceless. The clock can never be turned back. What would we give to be at that school meet, cheering them on, or basketball? So what did I get from Nu Skin that I could not get from stockbroking or any other career? Time freedom. Able to spend time with them when it matters. When I started the business, they were 10 and 6. Today, they are 28 and 24. They're never going to be 12 again or 16 again. And This is two pictures of them graduating from Cambridge University. They are now both living and working in London in an apartment that we bought for them. Now, why do I show you their graduation picture? Of course, for every parent, giving our kids the best in education is the most important. Of course, as a responsible father, I put aside money from the time my first was born to, just in case she could make it to one of the top universities, the money will be there 20 years later. But fortunately, I didn't have to break that little piggy bank because Nu Skin came along. And Nu Skin basically financed their entire education, both of them, and also paid for the flat in London. And I always like to talk about a lot of us being in the sandwich generation. That means we have to take care not just of ourselves, but also our parents and our kids. And the pressure is tremendous. So to me, I also like to think of Nu Skin as a 3-generation business. Not only we benefit ourselves, we benefit our children, we also benefit our parents. This is my mom. She's not had an easy life. She was widowed quite young. So we would like to give her the best possible. So when we fly, we make sure we fly in comfort, we fly in luxury together with the 2 girls. The only difference is the 2 girls have to fly economy, which I think is fair. They have to earn it, but ourselves and the Nai will fly either business or first, So to me, this is a business that will benefit 3 generations. And a lot of times people say to me, I don't want to get involved in MLM. I say, why? Because it's multi-level marketing. And the way they talk about it as if it's a dirty word. So I asked, what's wrong with multi-level marketing? Are you very proud that you only have a single source of income from one country, one job, or one business? All the billionaires, all the financial people will tell you you need to have multiple sources of income. So in Nu Skin, you get multiple layer of income in multiple countries. For example, today, I know that there are people tuning in from as far north as Canada, as far south as Australia. Wouldn't you like your income to be multi-level and multiple countries? Okay? But to me, MLM, is more interesting, is make life meaningful. If I can have passive income to take care of the family, 3 generations, have my health, have my youth back, I think life is very meaningful indeed. Now, of course, people are very curious why someone like me, a government scholar, successful stockbroker, will be doing this kind of business, so to speak, ladies' business, skincare, and so on and so forth. So in fact, a reporter came to interview my wife and I, and asked why a scholar, a stockbroker, will be doing Nu Skin. So I told them there are 3 reasons. One, it's a sure win business because it's in the sunrise sector of wellness, anti-aging, weight management, and does not require capital, inventory, manpower, rentals, and so on and so forth. The second reason was I did not expect that this business would give me back health, youth, and time with my family. And the third is the most important. No matter how much money I was making in stockbroking, I always wondered whether next year I could do the same. I think we all wonder about that. So peace of mind. Whereas with Nu Skin, throughout all the different crises, more so at a time like this, I'm not worried at all. But when I was in stockbroking, traditional business, traditional job, you should be very worried indeed. So the numbers just don't add up. Whether you're a fresh graduate just starting your job, form a new family, just took on a flat, the kids are going to preschool, primary school, secondary school, university, taking care of yourself, your kids, your parents, medical issues, your retirement, the numbers just don't add up. Why is that? Because you're only selling time for money for most of us, only one level of income. You need leverage, because without leverage, you're just average. So if there's one thing you take away from today, the numbers just don't add up, and in order for the numbers to add up for you, you need a leverage vehicle over multiple countries, multiple layers like Nu Skin. So, coming to the topic of financial immunity, let's see how Nu Skin sales have done versus generally say the market, the stock market, let's say. Now you can see in this chart, the blue line is Nu Skin sales in Hong Kong. Nu Skin started in Hong Kong in 1991, the first market in Asia. The red line is the Hang Seng Index. Let's say you look at 1997 Asian financial crisis. You could see the Hang Seng was volatile, but the Nu Skin sales continued to go up. Then we have 2001 dot-com crisis. Again, the Hang Seng was volatile, went down, but Nu Skin sales go up and stay up. And then we have in 2003, of course, we had SARS. In 2008, we had the Lehman Bank crisis. In 2009, we had H1N1. Some of you may not recall, but in 2013, we had the China economic slowdown, which also affected this part of the world. And of course, in 2018, 2019, we had the trade war, US-China, and of course now we have this issue. Throughout this period, Nu Skin sales continue to go up. And there's one more thing I want to point out about this chart. Nu Skin has been in Hong Kong for what? 30 years? Almost 30 years? Singapore, 20 years? There is no saturation. Do you see new sales, new people are coming in all the time? So, I just want to finish up with 3 key questions. Number 1, is Nu Skin for real? I want to again tell you that you're entitled to your own biases, your own prejudices, your own misinformed views, but facts are facts. There's only one set of facts. So what are the facts? Nu Skin has been around 36 years, 54 countries, turnover a little bit shy of 3 billion, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of us came in part-time. A lot of us are professionals and business owners like Dr. Lam here. And then we do it full-time. It has to be real. If not, we won't do it. Next, what do I want in my life? Do I want to continue to worry about the numbers not adding up at every stage in my life? What if there's a big issue that comes up during, say, this crisis and I lose my job or I lose my business? How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to feed myself? Do I want to downgrade as I grow older or I want to upgrade? To me, upgrading makes more sense than downgrading. But I do not want to suffer. Okay? I want to enjoy my life. I want my family to enjoy my life. And finally, can I succeed? All I want to tell you here is, from the moment I joined, I was very encouraged. I saw people who were hospital toilet cleaners, McDonald's cleaner. They can make it. Taxi drivers can make it. At the other end, you have PhDs, you have professors, you have business owners like Dr. Lam who can make it. So everyone who wants to can make it, irrespective of your background. And finally, the most precious commodity of all, of course, is peace of mind, knowing that our next month's income is taken care of, our next year's income is taken care of, 20 years, 30 years down the line is taken care of. And by the way, the money passes on to your children even after you move on. So I do this business because I want to live free. So that's the end of my very short presentation, and I think we'll go on to the more interesting part, which is the Q&A. I got Dr. Lam next to me, so you really know about her background. I will just hand the mic over to her.
Yeah, so Clifton mentioned earlier on that I started my own business when I was 26. And the main reason why I started the business was simply I wanted, I thought I could build a business whereby I could have lots of people work for me, and then I could have freedom. That means I wanted to go and play and do other things. So that was the concept. And after I started it, I realized that actually, at the end of the day, a traditional business will own you. So much as I've leveraged and much as I've tried to scale the business, I grew the business, and the frustration was that, in fact, I got less and less freedom, more and more headaches. So, and I got to know Nu Skin, and when I saw Nu Skin, I said, this is actually the platform for me. So that, in a nutshell, that's it. And I very recently just sold my business. So I sold my entire dental business, 100% of it, all my clinics, everything. And one of the hardest things to do, I can tell you, is because closing a business is not an option. Closing is a very tough thing to do because you have to lay off people. But selling a business is also a different ballgame, but we managed to do it. And because why I could do that is because I have new skin, and because of that, I have freedom right now. So my role today is really to actually ask Junwen some easy and hard questions.
Not too difficult, please.
Okay. So okay, I'm gonna ask Junwen. Okay, you were doing this business during SARS. Okay, what was it like then? Because I think there are a lot of millennials at that time. They were only like less than 10 years old. What did you do in Nu Skin, and what do you see happening to other businesses during that period of time?
I remember SARS was a lot scarier because the fertility rate in Singapore was quite high, I remember. I remember a lot of us did not go out to the cinemas, but this time we were still going out to watch movies and all that. What did I do at that time? Firstly, we stayed very calm. And in fact, I always felt that at crisis times like this is the best of times, provided you stay calm. So we saw a lot of products. And in fact, more people came forward to look at the business because they were suffering in their business or they were worried about their job. So it was ironically a very good time for us. And of course, it then passed, SARS passed, and now we are back at the same juncture. Okay, so I think those lessons that we learned, which is I will talk about a little bit later. Keep calm. Look carefully at what you have. You don't realize how powerful this vehicle is to transform life, not just in terms of helping people with immunity, but their future. So I think the same perspective will help us. In fact, I wanted Dr. Lam to share. She was running her clinics during SARS, so maybe she will share what was her thinking at that time.
Okay, during the time of SARS, actually my clinic just started, not too long, and we were very young then, and I keep telling people, even before this period of COVID-19, that if SARS had prolonged another 3 months at that time, actually today I have no clinic to even sell, right? I wouldn't even have a business to start off with. So I've told many people before that about that, but nobody believed me. But now people are beginning to see what's happening with COVID-19. And the thing is, you can say it can pass once, it can pass twice, but do you realize these are cycles, right? And COVID-19, it will pass, but a cycle will come back again and again. And when I look at it, if you run a business, if you have a job, maybe I was younger then, I could be more resilient, but now I'm a bit older. Do I want to go through it again? Have to start again, to relearn again and do things again? Yeah, so that's why I would see this is a fantastic platform. Okay. Okay, so and also during this current period, we all have this hand sanitizers sold out. The people are a lot more aware of our products. They're getting onto our supplements, right? Our distributors are doing very good business by selling the products, right? Are they focusing on the right things to develop their business long term?
Okay, so I think it is absolutely right to be selling products now, for sure. But I would only give you 15% of the marks. Firstly, you need to tell people that your immune system is not something that you try to boost at a time like this and then you forget about it. So the products, be they LifePak or G3 or Y-Span or R-Square, should be used over the long term. But where do you score the maximum marks? What did we talk about? Why are we here to do the business? Because of freedom. We want leverage. It's going to come not from selling product, but from building your franchise operation. Not just where you've come from, but worldwide. But starting from your local base. I think people can get very distracted because they're selling lots of products, the people are happy with the product, you forget why we are here in the first place. So I always say, if you only sell products, it will give you a nice sales income. But the freedom account is in the leadership, is in building up the business. So guys, please, this is a best time ever to talk about the business. Remember what I said at the start? How many people in Singapore have been affected by the COVID-19? About 100 plus, 130, 140. Likewise, the same in Hong Kong. But how many people's livelihoods are being threatened? Millions. So isn't this the best time to talk about the business rather than just products?
Yep. Okay. And I want to ask Junwen, how do you see the future of direct selling, and how would you position Nu Skin, the Nu Skin business versus the competitors? And how can we make sure this business is sustainable in the long term?
Okay, so there's 3 questions. Firstly, I am very bullish about direct selling, and you don't have to take my word for it. You just have to go onto the net and you'll find out the numbers keep growing all the time. Direct selling is still very, very small part of overall selling. Secondly, within direct selling, of course, there's this thing called multi-level marketing. Unfortunately, a lot of multi-level marketing companies have not done the right things for their distributors. A lot of them are pretty mediocre. Some of them are scams or near scams. And this is where choosing the right company is so important. So where does Nu Skin stand in all of this? I want to remind people, every business is based on ultimately your products or services. And we all know about our wonderful, innovative and unique products, ageLOC, weight management, and so on and so forth. So I think the first thing is I see our products as being completely different, out of the world, unique. You can't buy our product anywhere other than from Nu Skin. But to me, the more important thing to stress is the compensation plan. Myself, I wouldn't be here, Dr. Lam won't be here because of the product. I might use the product to lose weight, but I'm not going to do the business. But because the comp plan firstly allows me to do multi-level, not just here but worldwide, and to give my family and I the best life of freedom. That's why I would do it. How is the business sustainable? Very simple. We're here because of passive income. Passive income can only come from 2 sources. Either you're in the business selling consumable product or consumable service. Isn't our products consumable? Whether it's this virus or whether it's a financial crisis, do people stop washing their hair, brushing their teeth, cleaning their face, continue to take products that's good for their immune system and energy? Obviously, they will continue to do that. And once they use our product, they will not use anything. So that's on the product side because it's a consumable. But the more important reason why it's sustainable, when you find self-driven and dedicated leaders like Dr. Lam, she will in turn attract other self-driven and dedicated leaders like herself, or even stronger than her, and they will build the consumer base, but more importantly, build the franchisees. And that's why it's sustainable. In fact, when I first came in, look at the business, I was most impressed not by the product, but by the energy of people doing their best for their families. So once you find those people, they're unstoppable.
Okay, so today's talk, I think everybody's here because we talk about this term called financial immunity. I mean, during this period of COVID-19, everybody's talking about immunity, right? But most of the time when you refer to immunity, you always imagine it as your body's immunity to the virus, right? If you look at the statistics, majority of people will not get this virus, okay? But we will, like Julian said, we will be suffering in terms of jobs and businesses. So how do you define this concept of financial immunity, both separately for an individual and for businesses?
Okay, I remember my wife and I, we made a trip to Rajasthan and Delhi. It's about maybe 18 months ago, and of course we were quite concerned, so we wanted immunity, various kinds of vaccines. So we went to the doctor. I took about 5 or 6 jabs, one is for this, one is for typhoid, one is for this. Of course, I asked the usual question, doctor, this jab is for, this one is for typhoid, this one is for this. How long does it last? Maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years. And it will be good for this country. But another country, you need another jab and something else. So, the Nu Skin Business Opportunity Vaccine, how long does it last? First, it lasts forever. Secondly, which countries does it apply to? It applies to anywhere in the world. What about various kinds of crises? Does it matter whether it's COVID-19 or SARS or trade war or .com? Doesn't matter. We cover everything. So one shot, one vaccine, cover you forever, cover your family forever, cover all kinds of situations. So what is the definition of financial immunity? For a company, balance sheet, cash flow. Okay, but in simple terms, we don't need to go technical. If you cannot make money, you cannot afford to pay your workers, you will shut down. A lot of companies are about to do that. You heard Dr. Lam, she was in the health business. She said if SARS had lasted 3 more months, she won't be here today with her business. Don't you think a lot of companies are doing that? Okay, so financial immunity for companies, very simply, whether it's this crisis or the next one, and this crisis seems to be occurring like every 2-3 years and sometimes yearly. If you cannot afford to have customers coming in to buy for whatever reason, you cannot afford to pay your workers, you cannot afford to pay your suppliers, it's going to be toast. Okay, and I think a lot of companies will fall this round. What about for individuals? Well, if you work for these companies, then you pretty much also don't have much financial immunity. But what if you work for a big company like Expedia? Expedia recently retrenched 12% of their people. Even the startups are retrenching. So there's no way to hide. Singapore Airlines, Cathay Pacific, huge companies, they are not going to fall. But you, the employee, may fall. So to me, I see there's hardly any financial immunity out there in the market, even for those working in the health sector, like Dr. Lam. Yeah?
I just want to add to what Junwen has said. You always think healthcare, you will never run out of business. Just in my dental group itself, of course now I don't own it, but you can see a drop in the number of clients, that's one. And the thing is that we are actually encouraged not to do procedures, right? That to the point whereby they are asking us to refer the cases back to the hospitals. Now, if you run a private business and the government tells you not to accept the people to see them, what are you going to do? You have no business, isn't it? And yet again, there are also a lot of, you say doctors, they are very busy, we salute them, but I have a lot of friends who are aesthetic doctors. That means they only focus on the Botox and your fillers and your lifts. And of course, the business will go down. So health doesn't mean that you will be immune, right? Of course, it's not just whether the people come for the business, just running a business with very much higher margins is incredible. My former business partners, they were just texting me to say how lucky we are, because the consumables that we were paying for have gone up by 5 times. And the consumables that we use in a dental clinic, we change them all the time, right? So what does that mean? If I didn't have Nu Skin, I tell you my stress level is so high. Okay? So that's why really this is true financial immunity, and I'm experiencing it with Nu Skin. Okay? So Junwen, when you first started, you were in the financial sector doing like huge transactions, right? So how do you come to see Nu Skin would be the business for you and your family in the future? Did your business grow very smoothly in the beginning?
Okay, so before I answer that question, I just want to follow up on the point about financial immunity, the last question. Just 2 days ago, someone asked me in the gym, so how's your business, with all this COVID-19? I said, well, February was not too bad. We were down by single digits. She said single digits? Most companies are looking at 30%, 80%. So I think both from a macro and micro viewpoint, Nu Skin business is the only one I personally know that has financial immunity. Okay, so on Dr. Lam's question, when I first started, a lot of people may think, because you're a finance person, so you can work out the numbers, you can see this, Not true. There are a lot of finance people, but they say this is beneath them. But I saw the scale of the business. Yes, it's true. I do transactions, they are huge. Could be millions, tens of millions. But the margins kept shrinking, and it was no certainty that I can keep doing that every month. Then people look at this business and say, oh my God, the toothpaste is only less than $10. Yeah, okay, maybe the TR90 is a bit more, but I don't see it. Then I say, in the same way that you don't see that Starbucks is a multi-billion dollar business selling coffee for $5? You don't see Nu Skin just because you see the value is low. But I saw the scale. I saw the consumable factor. But the most important thing I was able to get through, and I said I have no face issue, because when I work in the investment line and when I work with the entrepreneurs, I noticed that these entrepreneurs, firstly, they have a vision about their business. Secondly, they have no issue with face. So the guy can be doing some small product like coffee, but he can be a big guy, right? So I also saw that in my upline list, they were mainly professionals and business owners. So these people have high opportunity costs, like say Dr. Lam here. Why would we be here doing it if the compensation plan was not worth our while? Was it difficult for me in the beginning? I would say yes and no. The reason it was no was because I knew it was a sure win business. Because if other people can do, it's a sunrise industry, toilet cleaner can do, PhD can do, why I cannot do? There's no reason why I cannot do, right? But was it difficult? What was the difficult part? The difficult part is you get emotional, you get attached to your best friend not coming in to do the business. Your spouse objecting to you doing the business. People come in, they drop out. People say they will do things, they don't show up. They don't take your phone calls after that. I think this is the part that if people cannot see that you have to go through the numbers to find the right people. And eventually the right people, like Dr. Lam here, he was a complete stranger to me. And you guys will also know that eventually your biggest guys are currently people not even known to you. So I think that's the difficult part. So if you can accept that our products are going to sell and going to keep going up, you merely have to find the right people and keep going through the numbers, then the business is sure win. But if you worry about why this person don't come in, why this person don't do, why this person do halfway drop out, I think this will be very tough. Well, all businesses are tough, but I think our business, once you understand what it takes, then it's very smooth sailing once you get past the point.
Yeah, so I just want to add a little bit to what Junwen said. I mean, he and I were strangers, and the person who brought me into Nu Skin was also a stranger. She was actually from China, right? Not even from Singapore. And she was in a completely different industry because she was actually an Olympic gymnast for China. And I knew her completely by chance because I was working very long hours in the clinic and she had a toothache, and that's how I got to know her. And all she wanted to show me wasn't the business. She only wanted to show me a box of Life Pack because she thought I had bad health. And I asked, what do these people do here? I mean, you seem to be talking a lot, but how do they make money? And because of that, I saw the business. So the main point is that you just have to show as many people, right? You never know, because a lot of my friends are actually involved with Nu Skin, but nobody asked me, right? Because they thought I wouldn't do, okay? So, we see a lot of, we're talking about the current crisis, there are also lots of crises that happens around the world. So, the leaders, the governments, and businesses respond to crisis very differently, okay? So maybe Junwen, you can share what are the lessons and principles we can learn and apply from what you've seen with how these people respond to crisis to apply to Nu Skin.
Okay. So the question is, from what I've seen, how do governments respond to crisis like this, like for example the Singapore government? So I have some experience because I've worked with these people. In fact, the current health minister, we were colleagues at the Ministry of Trade and Industry. So how do governments respond? How do companies respond? How should individuals respond? Actually, I think it's the same, and I would categorize into three main things that we should be doing. Number one, keep calm when these things happen. I know there's lots of WhatsApp group going around. Wow, today, how many people? Wow, today, I hear there's going to be a worldwide pandemic, and this is not very helpful, okay? Because then you just panic and you lose your head. So keep calm, sit down and analyze the strengths and weaknesses of your current situation, be it your job or be it your business. For someone like Dr. Lam, if she was analyzing her healthcare business, on the face of it looks very good, but I think she'll be tearing her hair out. What can she do? Yes, it's a very strong business. People still need their teeth pulled out or cleaned, but they're not coming. I still have to pay rentals. Do I let my staff go? So in essence, I don't mean to be pessimistic, but for a lot of traditional business, I can only see weaknesses. I cannot see strength. Okay, in normal times, her business is very strong, but one crisis like this could knock her out. For individuals, you would think you're in a very stable job. Maybe you're working for SIA or Cathay Pacific or one of the big banks, but I think your weaknesses have been exposed at a time like this. What about the Singapore government? Okay, actually, they were prepared for COVID-19 from the time SARS ended. I know this because I know the people who prepared for it. They prepared for something that may never happen or that would happen 20 years later. That's why when it happened 17 years later in 2020, everything was ready. So therefore, from that response, you need to ask yourself, are you ready for the next crisis? Or are you going to respond to the crisis when it happens, like some of the other countries? Then it's a bit too late. So the second thing I would do after I've analyzed, keep calm, analyze your strengths and weaknesses, is to draw up a plan. So I don't need to tell you about what the Singapore government has done. You've seen what they have done. But let's say a company, what plan do you draw out? Oh, I tell you what the plans are. Take no pay leave. I know one big travel company in Singapore, for every month they say you take 2 weeks of leave. That's 50% pay cut, you know. How long can you keep doing that for? So those are the plans. So what about plans for us? Very simple. Continue to enroll people on the products. More so, continue to enroll people on the business. Remember that earlier question? I think most of us do the thing that we are most comfortable with. Oh, okay, maybe sell tea green, sell Reishi Max, boost your immune. I'll sell you some more hand sanitizer when the next round comes. But I think you're missing the point. That is only 10% of the total amount. A time like this, you should be talking about the financial consequences. You should be talking about the immunity, financial immunity of the individual. So to me, the plan is very simple. We do what we've always been doing in normal times with even more emphasis on talking to people about the need for financial immunity. And the third piece is take action. And once you take action, please stop thinking. Okay? I think a lot of people spend more time drawing a plan, going back to redraw the plan. Then when 5 people say no, laugh at them, they are out of the business. So please, once you take action, no more thinking, just take action. Okay.
Okay. So I think time-wise, okay. So let's see, Jun Wen, how would your life have turned out differently? Just one more question for you. Have you not decided to build this business? Of course, you will know all of us here.
Okay. I think the answer is very simple. First, I will have more grey hair. It won't be all black like this. So I think at age 61, that's not too bad, you know. Secondly, I think my tummy will be bigger. My weight will not be 82 kilos, probably closer to 85, maybe 90 kilos. No way can it be 74 kilos. I don't think I can play soccer because my knees will be hurting like mad. But I think the most important thing is I won't be enjoying the life I have now, a complete peace of mind, not worried about next month's income, next year's income, and so on and so forth. And to me, the most precious thing I already said to you earlier, peace of mind and complete freedom to do whatever I want to do. Now, we always ask this question at the end of our present, or we ask people one-on-one. What is the risk of doing Nu Skin versus the risk of not doing? Most of us, because we want to score 100 marks in our exam, always want to only say yes to doing Nu Skin when we are 100% sure we will succeed. Then we'll go talk to our friends, our family, see who want to do. I can tell you, don't bother. You might as well don't ask them. I tell you, they will tell you not to do. Okay? I've seen this happen over and over again. But the second part of the question is far more interesting. What is the risk of doing versus the risk of not doing? So this is my answer to this second part of the question, which is, I said, I think my life will not be like this today. So people will ask me, but you have already built up your reserves from your previous career as a stockbroker. I say yes. But how many of you feel comfortable in dipping into your savings to finance your current lifestyle? Of course not. Even the billionaire will not be comfortable. I mean, he's got billions, but the moment his cash flow stops, he's not comfortable. So to me, I'm very grateful to Nu Skin for keeping my hair black. keeping my mind hopefully safe, keeping my knees and everything in good shape so I can do the things I was doing when I was young, and to meet a lot of you new people. So I want to say again thank you, not only to Nu Skin but to all of you, including sidelines like Sharon and Frankie, and we have a lot of laughs together and we have a lot of support. So I will pass the mic, pass the thing back to Clifton. Oh, say one more. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to also ask Dr. Lam. Okay. How would your life have turned out differently if you had not done Nu Skin?
Okay, I know all of you watching there. It sounds like a talk show, right? But it's not scripted, okay? It's definitely not scripted. I just wanted to share a little bit. People have asked me this question before: how would your life have turned out differently if I didn't build Nu Skin? Previously, my answers would be, my time, and how I can spend my time. And I mean, it's all important, in terms of health, as what Jim had mentioned. But with the current COVID-19 crisis, I can tell you the thing that you will definitely be most grateful for is the lack of worry and stress. Because worry and stress will kill, right? You can have a great title, you can have a great job. As time goes by, as you age, for whatever reasons, as tides change and turn, and when worry and stress come to you, I tell you, it can really take a whole toll on your body. Trust me, right? The type of worry that you want with a business, or type of worry that you have if you have lack of money, or lack of job, or worry of retrenchment, is multiple times of what you can ever. I think it will just add to your health issues, right? And that is what I'm truly grateful for, right? And did we have the ability to do this? Honestly, no. Doing Nu Skin is completely out of my comfort zone, but I would share with everybody that it's completely worth it. Do you have anything else to add, Jimin?
That's all, and I think we will hand the stage back to
We'll hand it back to Clifton.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Maybe you should sing a song now or something.
Okay, we're waiting for the thing to go back.
Okay, we'll show live and who are happening over here. Okay, we're on the Star College here in Singapore.
Okay.
Okay, we're waiting for Clifton to come back on. Do you want to check the message? Maybe send a message.
Check the message.
No, I think it's going back. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Eh?
like now.
Yes. Hi. Surprise. I think everybody should see that. It's very inspiring presentations by Mr. Juan Tang and Dr. Lam. Yes.
We work very hard for you, because you set such high standard, put us under a lot of stress.
But this sort of stress is fine.
Yeah, this kind of stress is fine.
Stress is
No
fine,
stress,
yeah.
no stress. Happy.
Yeah, I think everybody's love your sharing. And in fact, at the same time, they ask you a lot of questions, but time is limited. So I think
Yeah.
it's very good.
So you get ready, I will invite you soon.
Next time we will charge.
We'll invite you again. Soon.
Yeah, next time we will charge. We want 2 tickets to Italy. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we go out now, yeah? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.